Vengeance Day, V for Vengeance Day. I mean, it used to symbolize Valentine's Day, but, that was like 2 weeks ago. Well, shit, 3 weeks ago at this point. And it's the Icon back with a little wrestling review for you. I almost forgot about Vengeance Day, to be honest with you. I thought I was going to have a nice relaxing weekend playing 2K26, and I was like, shit, there's some wrestling, and we got to talk about it. And before we get started, hit that notification bell, like it or subscribe. Check out my other videos, my other reviews up on my YouTube channel. Also, check out my second YouTube channel, like and subscribe to that as well. My second YouTube channel called Bright Eyes Media, which is strictly for fashion shows. Spring is upon us, the summer is coming, and there's going to be some more hot and heavy fashion action. So check that out, and I look forward to seeing you guys on Bright Eyes Media. So now some Vengeance Day. Why are they at the Performance Center? Like, if you're going to do a pay-per-view, because I know sometimes they do special themed non-PLEs, like pay-per-view names, but they're not PLEs. They do those on the CW sometimes, like the Great American Bash. But every 2 months or so, they do have actual, like PLEs. And Vengeance Day was being labeled, it was being presented, it was being advertised as a PLE. And then when the show starts, I'm like, you're in the fucking Performance Center. And there was something about being in the Performance Center that kind of took a little bit away from it for me, as far as just feeling like a big show or feeling like a big deal. But I do give them credit because they did dress up the arena to actually make it look special. Like, it wasn't like, I mean, you could obviously tell they were in the Performance Center. They were in the regular NXT, like Performance Center, but they actually dressed it up. They had the Vengeance Day, color scheme. They had the banners and everything up top. So they did try to make it seem like it was a big deal, although they were in the same location. I don't understand why they actually just couldn't book another venue for this show, but, but I do give them credit for making it look like Vengeance Day and not just having like some random NXT shit with like one Vengeance Day banner. So 3 women's matches on this show, so that's good. That's always good to see. We kick things off for Vengeance Day with a street fight between Jada Parker and Fake Monroe. I still don't like her. I still don't like her. Like, everything Jada Parker said about her on Tuesday Night NXT is 100% true. Like, you're just like, I thought, like, she said if you strip down the glamour, which isn't even glamorous, but she was like, if you strip down the glamour and the goofy and like all the goofiness and like the stupid acting and everything and the bad acting, she was like, she called her a mediocre bitch. But I'm like, she should have been like, you're just some basic blonde that looks like every other blonde on the roster. But what I will say, one nice thing about Blake Monroe during this match, first of all, there's no way, there is no world, no universe where Blake Monroe legitimately beats Jada Parker in a street fight. So in order for her to win this match, you had to do something. You basically have to cheat. The same thing when you watch Evolve. They had that girl, the girl who's the champion. I can't remember her damn name. Kendall Gray. Not a fan of Kendall Gray either. So they had her go up against that big old like light skinned girl, I forgot her name too. But basically, this big monster of a girl is going up against it's like 110-pound Kendall Gray. There's no way you're gonna convince me Kendall Gray wins that match. So, and that's the problem here. But I will say this. Cringe Monroe actually dropped the stupidness. She stopped with the stupid, performance bullshit, and she actually got serious and was talking serious and was acting serious in the match. And when she did that, I paused and I said, I could get behind this if this is going to be her character. If she's going to take this shit seriously, I might be able to take her seriously as an in-ring performer. But instead, we just get like this stupid, goofy, like, oh, like the sun and the stars, I'm ready for my clothes. And I'm like, that shit is cringe. Like, that shit is cringe. Like, nobody cares. During the match, like, it was a typical wrestle. It was a typical like street fight match, with the weapons and everything. I mean, she did do a funny thing where every time like Jada Parker pulled out a table, she put the table back and the fans booed. I mean, people have done that before, but it was just like, it fit for her character to do something like that. But in a street fight, like, nobody got a black eye, nobody was bleeding or anything. Like, that's a little bit unbelievable. Like I said, like, I'm still not a fan of Blake Monroe, but she did, she did do a good job here in this particular role. I mean, towards the end, she won the match, unfortunately. which because she won the match, I'm like, can we just call Jada Parker up to the main roster? Because honestly, they're wasting Jada Parker in NXT by having her job to like these blonde ass Barbies. Like it's not believable. It's just like with Lash Legend. Like they had Lash Legend lose a match to Kendall Gray. Once you lose a match, if you're Lash Legend and you lose a match to Kendall Gray, like it's time to leave NXT because like they're not going to utilize you properly and they're killing your stock by having you lose to like these like these random like 90-pound girls, like these bullshit ass cheerleader girls. But what she did do, she didn't like during the match. She didn't bring out thumbtacks. She didn't bring out like paper clips or anything like that. She had a bag of diamonds, and obviously they were fake diamonds. it's like, I mean, I give her credit for sticking to her character. She bust out a bag of diamonds. I mean, I chuckled when I saw it. But then when she took, because Jada Parker was on the top rope, so then she took the bag of diamonds. She took some diamonds out of the bag. She threw them in Jada Parker's face. And it wasn't like dust. It wasn't like she threw diamond dust in her face and it blinded her. It was more like when she threw the diamonds at her, Jada Parker just kind of looked like, bitch, did you just fucking throw diamonds? She looked confused. Like, where did you get diamonds from? And then, she got her off the top rope. And she actually like threw her on the diamonds, so that made more sense. And then after she threw her on the diamonds, then she pinned her and she got the 1, 2, 3. Get Jada Parker off of NXT right now. WrestleMania's coming. Get the girl off of NXT right now. I don't like, aside from the fact that she came from AEW, I don't know what their obsession, and the fact that she's blonde, I don't know what their obsession is with Blake Monroe. But if you're gonna have people like Jada Parker like lose to Blake Monroe, get Jada Parker off that show immediately. I don't know where she goes from here. Maybe she'll go. Maybe Blake Monroe will do a feud with Tatum Paxley. Who knows? But like I said, but for now, she won this match, and it's time for Jada to go to better pastures. Next up was Tony D'Angelo versus that light-skinned boy from Dark State. Like, I can't remember his name. Because I've said this before, the problem with him, we've already seen him backstage with glasses on, reading books, talking about his college education, and now all of a sudden he's a tough guy. Now he's wearing a hoodie. Now he's all like thugged out and everything. And it's like, it's too late. It's too late. Like, I've already seen you be the opposite of what you are now. Tony D'Angelo's character, I chuckled when he was Italian, but I mean, I don't understand what his character is. It's like, you're not Sting, dude. Like, you're not Sting. Like, you're not AJ Styles. When the company betrayed it, it's just weird. But they had a street fight. One can argue their match was more of a street fight than the actual street fight. The only thing about this match that impressed me was when OTM showed up. And I hate OTM's new theme music. I wish they would go back to their old theme music. But when OTM, because the thing is, Tony D'Angelo, he was getting jumped because it was 4 members of Dark State, and because there was no disqualification, they just jumped him like the entire match, which makes sense because that's what you should do if you have the numbers advantage. But there was one point where they were stomping him out in the yard, and OTM showed up, and I'm like, but there's still 4 of you and like 3 of them, and like then they ended up. But that goes to show you how big OTM is, because OTM managed to beat up 3 members of Dark State. And then when it just came down to the 1 member of Dark State and Tony D'Angelo pinned him, and that was it. So I don't know, because the thing is, he already took their tag team gold from them, because he's like, I'm going to take every single thing away from Dark State. They don't have anything for you to take, bro. It's like, unless you're going to fight each one of them, like, first of all, the white guy doesn't even do shit, but unless you're going to fight each one of them, like, singly, like, one-on-one, like, this feud should be over now. And Tony D'Angelo's character needs some serious direction, because I don't know what he's going to do. The problem with Dark State, though, unless one of them wins significant singles gold, this group is going to amount to nothing. The group is only going to be important if one of them captures a singles championship. If none of them capture a singles championship, this is basically a D-list group that's only going to... They're basically the Wyatt Six, because nobody in the Wyatt Six is getting singles championship gold. Like, Nikki Cross is on the goddamn roster, and she's not even wrestling any of the women. So Dark State needs, like... Dark State's gonna basically be like the new Wyatt Six. Like, all you're gonna get is tag team gold, and whoever's not holding that tag team gold, they're just gonna be standing around in the background doing nothing. So at some point, Dion Lennox, that's his name. At some point, get him some championship gold. Put the North American title on him or something. Hell, put the fucking NXT championship on. Like, have him beat Joe Hendry at some point, but just do something to legitimize this group if you're going to keep them around. The white guy still doesn't fit in the group, and it's not because he's white, it's just because he's corny and you don't buy him as a tough guy. But aside from him, if you're going to keep this group together, legitimize them by having them win championship gold. But now let's see what happens on NXT television, because Tony D'Angelo now needs to do something. Next up, we had Izzy Dame versus Tatum Paxley for the Women's North American Championship. I've said it before and I say it again. I hate Izzy Dame. She's bland as fuck. If I had to choose between Fake Monroe and Izzy Lame, I'm picking Blake Monroe, because as cringe as Blake Monroe is, she has way more personality and way more oomph to her than Izzy Dame. Izzy Dame is just bad. Like, she's just rotten tomatoes. She's dry steak. Like, I'm glad they got the belt off of her, because the girl, like, I don't, like, they need to release her. Like, release her immediately. I don't care if she's banging Braun Breaker. The one aspect of I do love Tatum Paxley. Like I said, I love her gimmick, and then, like, you know, she's the every woman's champion, because she fights for like all the weird quirky girls, like all the goth chicks. So she did have this one good move where there was a moment where Izzy Dame, I believe she did a code breaker to her. She did a code breaker. I thought that shit was awesome, because who thought Tatum Paxley had that in her arsenal to do that backflip, to do that front flip out of that backstabber. So that was actually a good spot. And then, you know, she, like I said, you know, she was able to get through the interference. She hit her 1 foot in the grave, or whatever she's calling it, and then she pinned Izzy Dame, and Tatum Paxley is her new Women's North American Champion. And I like that for her, because she didn't get a long enough reign with the NXT Women's Championship. So seeing her with the North American Championship, I hope she has a good run with that too. So kudos to her, to Tatum Paxley. She's back on top. And for the love of God, let's get Izzy Dame off the show immediately. Then we had an in-ring segment with Fatal Influence, Zarya and Sol Ruka, the one-trick pony. There was a moment where obviously JC Jane was doing a lot of talking, and then Fallon Henley did some talking. The third girl started talking, and I was like, cut her mic immediately. In WWE 2K26, Fatal Influence does exist as a faction in the game. And because I guess there wasn't enough time to change it, Jasmine Nix is in the group. It's Jasmine Nix, Fallon Henley, and JC Jane. I'm going to keep that. Like, I'm going to keep that group together, because whoever this third random girl is, she sucks. Like, when she talks, it's like you squirm, because you almost wonder, like, at some point when she was talking, I thought Zarya was going to turn over and be like, who the fuck are you? like whose child is this that just wandered into the ring? Like, this girl brings nothing to the table, and she doesn't even represent the group properly from a visual standpoint. She actually brings down, like, the like the gravitas of the group is sorely lacking. Like, she hurts this group, like, really badly. She had a lame gimmick, because her other gimmick was she was like some country cowboy girl, and I'm like, isn't that what Fallon Henley is? So your gimmick doesn't work, and then now she's in Fatal Influence, and I'm not buying her as like a sexy, cool chick. She's like the kid sister that's just following around her older sister and her friends because she wants to be cool, and she brings nothing to the table. She's another one, like, either get this girl a new gimmick, or get her out of here, because, like I said, she's hurting the group more than she's helping it. And if JC Jane gets called up, I hope they break this shit up in me. Do not bring all three of them together. You can bring Fallon, you can bring JC, leave that girl and Evolve, and let her come up with a brand new character. Zarya finally put some goddamn respect on her name. You know, Soul came in. Soul, another one, like, her mic skills need to improve. Like, she's not believable. The funny thing is, during this entire segment, when Zarya was talking, the fans were actually cheering for Zarya. And they should cheer for Zarya, because everybody's basically people online, they're just like, oh, Sol Ruka, she's the heel and all this. She's the heel. I wouldn't go as far as to say the heel, but Zarya definitely has a point. Like, all the stuff that she's saying is justified. Like, she's not wrong, like, in this entire equation. And Sol even said she was just because Zarya's whole thing was, she was like, oh, you know, you get opportunity after opportunity after opportunity while the rest of us get nothing. And then Sol was just like, well, it's not my fault. I make the most of the opportunities that I'm given. And that was a bad line for her to say, because you just admitted that you get special treatment. and, and I think the fans are starting to pick up on the fact that she gets special treatment now because, like I said, they're actually starting to cheer for Zarya in this case. And they made a triple threat match for the women's NXT Championship. So it's Zarya, Sol Ruka, and JC Jane. I do feel like JC Jane's about to get called up to the main roster. And for the love of God, I hope Sol Ruka does not win that title. Well, it's not even at Stand and Deliver, like it's next week. So hopefully Zarya wins the belt, or JC Jane will probably retain. And then just give us Sol versus Zarya at Stand and Deliver, because I don't want to see either one of them go for the belt and have somebody else take that belt off JC Jane that actually deserves it. My pick would be Kalani Jordan, but maybe they'll go in the direction of Lola Vice. We'll have to see. But that does bring me to the next match, which is the underground match between Lola Vice and the beautiful Kalani Jordan, my number one favorite in NXT. And I do love Lola Vice. I do love me some Lola Vice. The problem is, in this feud makes me not like Lola Vice. Not because I like Kalani Jordan more, but just like I was saying before with Zarya, Kalani Jordan is actually 100% justified in like everything that she's doing. You know, she was the TNA Knockouts Women's Champion. She has an obligation and a responsibility to represent that brand. That's not turning your back on NXT. That's stepping up to the plate and being representation for the brand that you're currently, that you're currently the champion of. And again, Lola Vice constantly goes to AAA every single Saturday, and nobody says anything about that. She won a championship, and nobody says anything about that. They're just like, and then Lola said in an interview, she's like, oh, but I don't choose NXT over AAA. I'm like, bitch, you in AAA every week. She'd be like, oh, my people, mi gente, mi familia. I'm just like, it kind of does sound like you're doing that. And again, if Lola's supposed to be your friend, for her to lead the charge and kick you out the locker room, it does scream jealousy. You're jealous that she became Knockouts champion, and now you're just looking for a reason to hate on her. So the girl's 100% justified, like in her entire thing. But it is an underground match. Her daddy was there cheering her on. Kalani Jordan actually did a good job in the underground. The weird thing about it, though, there was no light and I'm like, they've had underground matches before. I've watched underground matches before. I don't remember it being this dark during an underground match. Kalani Jordan looked amazing. I hope they put the look that she had here. I hope they put that look in 2K27. But this went how you expected it to go. Like I said, she tried to go for the hand. She tried to weaken the hand. And I thought they were going to give her the dub here, but they're doing something where they're trying to keep her undefeated. Lola Vice hit that spinning back fist, and that shit looked nasty. Kalani sold it extremely well. And then Lola even tried to run on top of her to get like the extra hits. And then due to referee stoppage, she knocked her out and Lola Vice won. If we're going to continue to have Lola Vice be the king of the underground, they should just create an underground championship. Just create an underground championship. Let her hold the underground championship. And once a month, just have her take on random girls like in underground matches. I would actually be perfectly fine with that. But like I said, she beat Kalani here, so this feud needs to end now. Like I said, my personal opinion is that Kalani Jordan needs to be the NXT Women's Champion, and we need to push this girl to the fucking moon and beyond. But if they do Lola versus JC Jane at Stand and Deliver, I'm fine with that too, because Lola is deserving of that spot as well. Those are my two top picks for that. Like I said, but Lola gets the dub here, so we'll see what happens on NXT Tuesday and where both girls go from here. And finally, for the NXT Championship, it was Ricky Saints versus, or as Booker T would say, Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry. If you don't like Booker T on commentary, fuck you. I'm sorry. Booker T makes this show. If you take him off, I swear to God, if I take him off of commentary, I'm not watching the show anymore. I believe in Joe Hendry. So Ricky Saints and Joe Hendry. There's really not much to say about this. They try to get Ethan Page involved, and Ethan Page, he's supposed to slide Ricky the belt at one point, and then he missed. And then, after that, Joe Hendry basically got the one arm choke slam on him, and he beat him. Joe Hendry just won the belt. He wasn't going to lose it to Ricky Saints in his first title match. So Joe Hendry, he reigns supreme. Maybe they're going to do a triple threat match now between Ethan Page, Ricky Saints, and Joe Hendry at Stand and Deliver, because when it comes to the men's roster, I don't see anybody other than those three that's deserving of that championship title spot. Keanu Carver's not there yet. He's not quite there yet, but there's really nobody else. So it's triple threat, triple threat, which I'd be fine with that. you know, because we just saw Ricky Saints versus, you know, Joe Hendry. So if we're going to do this again, you should add a third person to the mix to make it a little bit more interesting. But yeah, so that was it. So everybody at the end of the show, they wave their hands from side to side because we believe in Joe Hendry. And, you know, yeah, they showed pictures of him when he had black hair and without the beard. I was like, who the fuck is he? He was slimmer and everything. He looked crazy. He actually looked like he was in a rock band when he had the dark hair and everything. But yeah, but that was it. That was how Vengeance Day concluded, which was basically like a bump in the road. It's like now we're on the road to Stand and Deliver, which is going to take place April 4th or April 8th. It's not taking place the same weekend as WrestleMania. Thank goodness, because now you don't have to have it like randomly at 1 o'clock in the afternoon on Saturday. You can give these people, you know, like a 7 p.m. like main event night just for themselves. Fuck it, let's do 2 nights of Stand and Deliver. Like they should do 2 nights of Stand and Deliver and add NXT, Evolve, AAA, and TNA. Have all those champions, like, because if you're doing business with all 4 of these different brands, have a 2-night Stand and Deliver and have all 4 of those shows represented to give it more of like this, you know, for everything you guys do, this is the biggest show of the year for everybody. I'd be down with that, and they need to do that shit. But that was how the pay-per-view, the PLE ended, and thank you for tuning in. So share your questions and concerns. Like, what did you think? I mean, as far as like the best match of the night, I mean, I guess it was the Underground match, I guess. You know, I said it was only like 5 matches and everything, but I said it was a good show. I just wish it wasn't in the Performance Center it made it feel like they were just doing like NXT Tuesday on a Friday night, you know what I'm saying? But like I said, but it was still a good show, and now we look forward to Stand and Deliver. So check me out on social media. Check me out on X, on Instagram, on TikTok, and YouTube, where you can leave your questions, comments, and concerns. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Red Eyes Entertainment. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Bright Eyes Media. And I look forward to seeing you guys when I'm going to start doing live streams for 2K26. So check those out when or either live streams, or I'm just going to post videos of me playing and everything. So basically just look out for my 2K26 coverage. And then also, like I said, we got Stand and Deliver coming, and we got WrestleMania coming. And I look forward to bringing that to all of you. And for all you comic book fans, we've got that Daredevil coming, and we're going to review that Daredevil as we all are born again in this world of entertainment. So that was it, guys. So thanks for tuning in. So until next time for some more NXT action, take care for Vengeance Day, and we're out this